Hello, I'm Nick, and I'm going to show off our advanced graphics group project completed by myself and Christopher Lockheed. The effects within this demo is a combination of the multi-light from Christopher's project and the fur shading from my previous individual project, along with some fog shading, skinned animation, normal mapping, and shadow mapping, bundled up with some brute force collision and some minor gameplay, like this gate opening with a button press. Now to explain what we did. While there hasn't been much change to the multi-lighting, the fur shading had some minor changes to incorporate directional lighting and also be included in the fog. It has also been included with shadow mapping, but so far has resulted in some strange, unexplainable behavior. Using Asim to load in object files and material files, we can import the normal maps and calculate the model's tangents and bitangents. These are later used to make a TBN matrix for every vertex. The result is then passed into the fragment shader along with the normal map, and then we can recalculate each fragment's normal value, resulting in a slightly more realistic look to models. This effect can be toggled in our demo though. Shadow mapping was a wild beast which Chris tackled and conquered. It was completed by creating a frame buffer where a model with only its basic shape is kept. This frame buffer is then drawn from the perspective of the directional light before the actual model is drawn on top of it. To make the shadows more believable, the shadow map is done 4 times per fragment using a poison disk calculation which creates smoother shadows. The shadows are calculated in real time, as shown by our player's unusual and definitely not human model. Using a customly created and rigged model, we did skinned animation. The model was loaded in using Asim by recursively processing each bone, mapping its location, which allows us to calculate the model's position at any time. The bones are then passed into the vertex shader to calculate each vertex's position, which enables us to do lighting. This effect can be shown by our friendly neighborhood Bigfoot drinking booze. And finally, for the elephant in the room, fog shading. This effect is completed by simply knowing the distance of each fragment from the view position. The further out the fragment, the more grayed out it is. To flesh this out, we added multiple fog effects such as linear and exponential fog, which changes the shape of the fog around the camera. We added keyboard shortcuts to change these effects during runtime. While these effects are mostly complete, there are some improvements that could be made. Other than improving the fur shader to be more realistic, and the occasional bugs we get with the shadow mapping, we had to exclude shadow mapping from the skinned animation models, which would have involved applying the bone transformations to the shadow map. This was left out due to time constraints and because it was very expensive to compute. And with that, that's about it. Thank you for watching.